Hello, I'm John Adams. I'm here today at the National Theatre in London to discuss bereavement awareness being incorporated into the national curriculum as a compulsory measure with the CEO and founder of Project Eileen, Louise Poffley. I wanted to pick your brain about the charity that you've established and that you work for, about what you do and why you do it and how it will help people, especially with the initiative to see bereavement awareness incorporated into the national curriculum as a compulsory measure across schools throughout the UK.
Absolutely.
So if I can hand over to you about yourself, that's okay,
Yeah.
and about the charity, what work you do, that'd be great.
Lovely. Well, Project Eileen was founded by me and Annabelle. Both our own experience of bereavement meant that we felt something had to be done to help young people, and specifically teenagers, to bring about awareness and help them cope with bereavement, death and grief.
Yeah.
So how do we do that? Well, we wanted to proactively help teenagers to deal with this aspect of life, the only aspect of life that indeed is going to affect us all. And I always say to people, it is a great leveller. And people go, what about taxes? And I say, but some people never have the opportunity to pay taxes. So we've got a proactive programme of a multimedia lesson programme to give young people the tools and life skills, equip them to help themselves now and in their future life, so that when they're adult, they've gained skills to deal with this.
So with that as well, sorry to interrupt you in your flow, but and that's what we're saying about teaching young people about grief and loss. It's not necessary if the people are going to suffer a loss then. It's just to see them through the rest of their lives as well, give them the tools at a young age to help them as they move forward. Precisely
that. We all know that experience when you're in work and somebody has suffered a bereavement. The colleagues all write a bereavement card and the person's away, and then they come back in and it's like, do I go to the water cooler now because that person's there? What do I say? And so many of us feel like that. So we feel strongly that because it's not on the curriculum, it's not being talked about anywhere.
Compulsory as well is the key part.
Compulsory is a key part of it, because nobody knows what to do, how to help other people or help themselves, because it's shied away from. You know, we're trying to raise awareness and open up the conversation so that people feel comfortable talking about death. Yeah, and trying to improve our relationship with death. That's the key thing, isn't it? Taking the fear out of taking the fear out of it entirely. So the actual charity itself then, so that's what you've been set up for. What actually is it? What do you actually do? Okay, so we offer to secondary schools a free programme of lessons, so that it's a multimedia programme, so that it begins with a story that's a fictional story but is very true to life, so that young people can relate to the situations which are talked about in the story. And then that can be delivered in many ways. We're very lucky that Sir Tony Robinson very kindly volunteered his time to record the narration of the story, so that we've used that with an animation. And so that is one way that in the first lesson students can see the animated story and think about it and think how it's going to be used in other lessons, or they can put it on themselves. So they can, you know, there's scripts and scores, and teachers can give them the chance to do it themselves. And in the south of England, only in the south at the moment, but it's going to be, you know, with funding, we'll be able to use workshop facilitators to go out and work with students on in a workshop over a day and really explore the themes. And grow the awareness as well. Grow the awareness. And then the rest of the programme, so the other lessons all cover things like what is grief, how to help yourself with grief, what to do when you see someone who's struggling, the language of death, how to talk about it without euphemisms. Yeah, I think the bigger picture is quite exciting, because I believe the outcome can be so positive on society. And obviously we have spoken about how it helps that person, that child that suffers that loss. Yeah. It can feel quite isolated, as I did.
their friends in the classroom to help and support them and try and instill some compassion and empathy to them. The teachers to try and give them the tools, which you're already doing, provide them the tools to give them the confidence and the bravery in how to speak to the children. And then, as we've discussed already and prior to this video, about the wider effects on society.
Yes.
How we hope it can make the society a more kinder place.
Exactly, because we're already finding teachers who delivered the programme are really benefiting. They say how it's helped them approach young people in their classes who have been bereaved, and to help teachers who aren't delivering the lessons, who are teaching other subjects, to be able to help the children and their colleagues, actually.
Fantastic. So how do schools initiate your programme? How do they actually register for the programme?
So we ask schools to register on our website.
Yeah.
Then they get permitted to download all the resources. So it's very comprehensive, it's very easy for teachers to use, you know, it's all there for them. And a key thing actually is signposting to organisations that are specifically for children's bereavement, to mental health charities and areas where children can get help.
Yeah, fantastic. Obviously, you know the initiative that I'm trying to push through with the NEFD about seeing bereavement awareness incorporated into the national curriculum, and the key part of this is compulsory.
It's absolutely vital.
And so the work that you're already doing, it's highlighted to me is it's all there. Everything is in place, and it makes it easier for Parliament, because the work you've done is ready to go. It's just about connecting it all up now throughout the country.
And you're doing a fantastic job.
No, well, there's more to do. There's more to do, and we're all responsible for that. So, thank you. With that though, what challenges do you think that we face in seeing this as a compulsory measure throughout schools? What do you think is the biggest challenge for us?
For many years, death has been something that's hidden away. Nobody wants to talk about it. So it's getting people to be aware of the need to discuss something that is the only thing that is globally going to happen to us all.
Certain.
So it's the only certainty.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because we're all being made to believe that it's so important to keep people alive. I know this sounds quite dramatic, but there is a very big element of keeping people alive in hospitals. Hospitalisation is a very big thing, and many people now die in hospitals rather than at home. So that attitude is very strong now, as opposed to Victorian times when death was very much in the home and the body was laid out of the deceased person in the room, and people came to visit, and this does happen in other cultures, but not in the UK culture. So getting that across is one thing.
Do you think that relationship deteriorated since Victorian times? Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it's because there was so much tragic death during the First and Second World War that it naturally wasn't talked about so much, because it was so prevalent.
So traumatic.
And everywhere.
No, well, it's a huge thank you to what you're doing. It's incredible work that you've already done, and I really hope that I and the NEFD and everybody else behind this can assist you in making this compulsory throughout schools in the United Kingdom.
Well, thank you for what you're doing. I think it's tremendous.
Let's all keep banging the drum. I keep saying.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Louise. Thanks for your time today.
Thanks, John.
And let's continue to work together moving forward.
Yes, definitely.
Brilliant. Thank you.